So boy T-Lad, and today this video is gonna be about purpose. You know, most people didn't have a purpose in life, and purpose and testosterone, they correlate. You know, even like brotherhood, this is also gonna be about brotherhood. But if you don't have a purpose, or if you don't have brotherhood, your life's gonna suck. You know, if you don't have someone that's gonna push you, you know with your boys and they push you and shit, right? That's what you need, because they hold you accountable. They hold you accountable to your purpose, right? I don't know what your purpose is. Maybe it's getting jacked, or maybe, you know, it's increasing your testosterone, increasing your hormones. Hey, messing with IG if you need help for that. But shameless plug, but you know, maybe it's, you know, growing your business, whatever. But you need a purpose in life. You don't have a purpose, you're gonna feel empty. You're gonna resort to, you know, bullshit things like alcohol, doom scrolling, you know, porn, IG baddies, whatever the fuck you wanna call it, right? But you're gonna, you know, resort to these temporary, low, you know, fake dopamines, right? And your lifestyle's gonna be shit. You're gonna end up feeling like shit, bro. You don't wanna be doing the. Most people, that's what they do. They don't go outside. You know, they just stay inside. You know, it's like, bro, you're gonna end up with a shit life. You don't wanna be doing that the rest of your life. If you do that the rest of your life, you're gonna be getting depressed. You're not gonna be living a good life. Okay, it's most people's lives. That's 99.99999% of the world. Feel me? And it's like, if you don't have a purpose, your body's gonna be like, why the fuck am I producing testosterone? This guy's not using it, right? You know, besides, you know, sleep, your sunlight, your diet, your training, your lifestyle, you need a purpose too. You know, I believe your purpose, it's like, you know, I don't know what's the word, but like, your purpose is important. It gives you that, you know, mental or like psychological drive, like, okay, this guy, you know, he has a purpose. He has a goal. You're like, oh shit, I need this testosterone to, you know, achieve this fucking goal, right? You need the testosterone, right? It gives you a reason. That gives your body a reason to, you know, produce more testosterone, and it gives you a drive. You know, people think like, oh, let me give you an example. Even if you don't like to do it, right? Andrew Tate, right?
Breathe air.
You know, he you know, smokes cigars. You know, he doesn't sleep the best, whatever. But he has a purpose. He has so much shit. He has a brotherhood, right? He has his brother. He has all his boys around. All they do is work, you know. And you know, he's in a sun a lot, which, you know, reason he has like a 900 testosterone. You know, he's 40 years old, right? And you know, his diet consists of meat, right? But he has a competition. He has a conquer. He has a purpose. You know, he's $1 billion. He has all these cars as he take up. He has, you know, a bunch of wives, a bunch of kids, right? All the shit, a bunch of businesses, whatever he's doing, right? The point is, you know, he has a purpose. That's what you need. You need a purpose in life. You know, he's 40 years old, 900 testosterone, you know. 1,000 testosterone is not that hard to get. It's pretty easy if you just follow the basics, you know. And if you don't know how to do that, I mean, anyone can get it, right? But some people just need accountability and that brotherhood, right? You know, brotherhood is really important, because, like, you know, if you're living with your boys, right? I think this is what I want to do, to be honest. But if you're living with your boys and, you know, they see you doing some dumb shit, or, you know, you see that they're doing some dumb shit, you're gonna be on their ass. You're like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, bro? You gotta lock in, bro. Like, yo, you're gonna be a pussy, you're gonna be gay, you're gonna be a bitch, right? You just start saying shit. This is like, you know, this is what happens when you're your boys. They hold you accountable. Then it's like, okay, I better be locking the fuck in, because if my boy sees me doing some bullshit, he's gonna be like, you don't want to hear it from him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you push each other, you hold each other accountable. It's like a bond. You know, you couldn't call it gay or whatever, but, you know, soldiers, prisoners, you know, the World War I soldiers, the prisoners, the World War II soldiers, right? They have the highest testosterone, right? Prisoners, they have the highest testosterone because they're surrounded by men. And, you know, if the other prisoner catches them jacking off and using weird shit, right? They're gonna
you're such a good boy for me, aren't you?
I think we all heard the stories, right? You know, drop the soap, right? But like, we all heard the stories, right? But they have the highest testosterone. And it's like, bro, they have a purpose. Yeah, they're in prison, whatever. But I truly believe, at least they're feeling alive. Most people in life, they're feeling numb. I believe, yeah, they're in prison, they're stuck in a cell. I believe they're living, they're more alive than most people, right? Because they have a purpose. The purpose to get the fuck out of there and survive, right? They're higher tests, they're surrounded by men. This is why, you know, it sounds weird and all that, but like, you know, people might call you know, gay and shit, but you're conquering the world. You have a purpose, right? When you're with your boys, they hold you accountable. And most people, you don't get that shit. You know, most parents, they don't have a parent. Bro, I seen some dad, you know, walking his daughter, but he's on his phone. He's not even like, his daughter wants to, play with him, whatever, right? It kind of, it kind of hurt my heart because, like, bro, your daughter wants to play with you. You're on your phone watching TikTok. It's late at night, so someone could just rob your daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could happen. You never fucking know, bro. We live in 2026. I've seen some crazy shit, right? It's like, bro, you're ignoring your daughter. Like, what type of shit is that? It's like, bro, you gotta be accountable. And it's like in the future, you're wondering why these kids, come all fucked up and shit, giving them iPads and all this. Like, nah, you gotta, bro. When you're with your boys, you're accountable. You hold each other accountable. King was a king without his warriors and soldiers. They held each other accountable. Like when you're with your boys, you hold each other accountable. People may call it gay, but it's like, bro, you need that brotherhood and purpose. You hold each other. Purpose allows you to chase the goals you want to do, but the brotherhood, it holds you accountable to your goals. I believe these are the two most important things of mankind, like mentally wise, right? Mentally and like environment wise, right? Listen to that, right? If you want to, get a goal, the easiest goal is to get jacked and fit. You don't really need a bunch of money. All you need to do is make a couple changes to your lifestyle. Make sure you have good sleep. You get sunlight. You're not eating bullshit, right? You're training. Training is basically free. All you need is push-ups, the wall to do some handstand push-ups. That's your bands. And a pull-up bar to your pull-ups, your chin-ups, and your ab workout. Your legs are pretty easy to train. You can do lunges and all that. You can do plyometrics. Try to dunk basketball. That's another goal. That's another purpose. That's But I believe purpose and brothers is the thing. And if you want to increase your hormones, you can shameless plug, but you can message me on IG. But I'm helping you change your fucking life, making you feel like a man. Most people didn't even wake up. Most people have AD, bro. It's like, bro, most kids nowadays, they have lower testosterone than their parents and all that. Their male, their father figures or their grandpas. It's like, bro, that should not be the case. But it's very easy. The good thing is it's very easy to fix. It's common sense. You don't need fancy supplements. All you need is some accountability and purpose. But that's the end of this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you learn anything from this video. Share this to others. Share this to someone that might need to hear this, right? But yeah, it's your boy T Lad, and I'll see you next time. But peace out, bro.